Hi guys, I'm getting ready to do the next pages in this little journal, and I thought in order to keep the balance in the journal and sort of the thicknesses that we add equally distributed, maybe it's a good idea, or the best idea, I'm not sure, to now devote our attention to the center of the journal. I don't want to be working from the front to the back, and then the front gets so thick that I can't do anything in the back. So I sort of keep thinking to myself, if I do an equal distribution, then it'll probably work out best. This is a journal that's already bound, so that makes it slightly different from other journals. So, okay, let's start with this. This is a packet of window shutter images that I bought off Temu recently. They're all very similar, but nonetheless, I thought I could possibly use these back to back to use as opening elements for my windows on the page. We'll see if that works or not. This is just the initial planning. And then I went into my Gator Mouse file and I pulled out these printables. Val's Craft Creations. It's a property of Val's Craft Creations. Now, I think what I'm going to do is to print something on the back so that we don't have all this white to deal with once we start working, because right now I didn't pack them. But I think I'm going to save myself a lot of time and effort if I print something on the back before I start. Just making this a whole lot easier. It's such a lovely kit. Beautiful. Completely different color scheme from the others we've been using. But yes. So I think I'm going to send them off to the printers. Print some of my printables that I've got available on the back of these. Try to keep it toned down so that one can use the journaling space. This journal is all about journaling space. And yeah, then I'll be back once I've cut them out and printed them and sort of just prepared them. I wanted to do this introductory one. I'll probably only get back to this again tomorrow or day after, whenever it is. But when I'm ready, I'll get back to you. So cheers for now. Okay, I am back, but I wanted to just quickly show you this before I cut them all up. So here are my printables, and I've now printed on the back, and I couldn't find the designer for this. It's very much in the same style, so it might be this Val's Craft Creations. I don't know, I'm not too sure. So here are the backs of these now. Can you see both? Yeah, more or less, right? Anyways, so let me do this. This one. I'll do that. And in the back, this one, and the back. And so the backs are absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? As are the fronts. And I just think this is going to save me. I didn't show you the back of this one now. This is going to be saving me so much time because this is a very light print. So you'd be able to work over this with pretty much any color pen. And that's what I was looking for. Something that's not too dark, too intense in color, so that you can retain the journaling space. I love the colors on this one. But absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous printables. I didn't fit them to page. So if they look like they've been cut off, they did cut off in the printing. And that's because I wanted to maximize the space that was covered on the page. we are going to be cutting them up any case, so kind of pointless to try and save. This one was in very skew, wasn't it? Oh well, so be it. So it's kind of pointless to try and get a whole image in. Rather try to cover as much of the page as possible, and that way you have better coverage for your front ends, which is what this is all about. So now there's a bit of work for me to prep everything, and then I'll be back with the assembling and I'll share that with you. Cheers for now. Hi everyone, I'm back, and I've done a bit of prepping so that we can speed up the process a bit. So what I've done is to once again take my stencils and just do a bit of a background stenciling. Nothing major, nothing new. And I've done that with this coffee brown. My apologies, using this brush here. Okay. I have also glued down the flaps on both ends of the pages, and I have prepared this. Okay, so I've taken these, glued them down back to back, and then I have cut them open. But then I've also used some of the printables in the set that I'm using, and I want to glue this here to the bottom so that it's kind of like a little flower pot thing, I don't know, at the bottom of the window. And I will show you why, because I want to create a bit of a pocket there. Okay, so I'm going to have to work really carefully here now. Just double checking myself. Want to do this. Might have been a better idea to, let me just get the, might have been a better idea to glue this thingy, come on, don't stick out now, rather than the little window. I don't know. Okay, and then I want this to come further, I think. Yes, it has to come down quite a bit. Okay. Okay, so another bit of gluing then. Okay. Let me get my glue lid on. Of course, I am now going to have to work really, really carefully to get this right. Okay. Yes. These are such fun interactive elements. Right, and I've prepared the reverse side as well. So while we're at it, oops, put my mat back. I am going to do this one as well. It's very much in the same vein. I do think I want to be cleverer about this. I do think so. Let me rather glue this bit. Look at me not working on my glue mat. It's the wrong side. Aye. Yeah, that's me being clever and then not being so clever at all. Okay, well, let me just do it on this side. I'm just going to have to do this in one now. Okay. Still no glue mat. Okay. I want to sort of get my ruler out here just so that I can line them up more or less at least. That'll be close enough. Now that is really cute. I hope you can see both of them side by side. They are obviously going to be the focal point of this whole layout. But there's a bunch of other stuff that I've prepared and gotten ready for this process. And one of them is this. Now I think this was supposed to be cut apart. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But what I've done is to keep this intact. I folded the sides in, and then I took these little strips in the set and I made miniature little pockets out of these. I punched from the scrap papers 3 circles using my circle punch and stuck the 2 on the outside together so that they're firmer. The ones on the inside are simply to cover the brads. And then I just tied some twine around it and this becomes a closure. Now, these are the offcuts from these ones when I cut them smaller. And they just happened to work out beautifully so that each of them had little bees left over. And so now the idea is to kind of tuck them in there. This is an interesting piece in the set. It's the only one that has torn edges in the whole set, printable set. And I figured I'll just tear it. Instead of cutting the torn edges, I'll actually tear the torn edges. And Let me just ink it. And this can also go in there. Now, here are three more rather unique things in the set. So we can tuck these in here. Come on. And then I've also created these from leftover, but they're not nice on the back. Oh well, then we've got to stick them together, don't we? We've got to glue them together. Because these are just off-cut pieces that I've used. And here's my hexagonal punch. And punched out my off-cut pieces. Now let me get that glue mat in. So essentially what I'm looking for is just a bunch of small elements that I can easily incorporate in these smaller pockets. I do think and this is a lovely way to use your off-cut pieces as well, so they don't go to waste. Okay, here we go. Now it's just a matter of deciding which ones go where. And shall we add another item or two? Maybe another one here. This is from the set. Yeah, I think those are all the smallest bits. Oh, here's another one. This is also made from offcuts. But maybe we should give this one, because it's got a hole there. So I've got a piece of twine lying here on the side. So maybe just pull that through, cut it shorter, and stick that in here as well. The other way around. Okay, so that's just a couple of ideas on, things to do. And again, I'm not even sure this was the intent of this printable, but when I saw it, I thought it would look nice. Now this, I think, can tuck in to the side pocket. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't have glued it down all the way to the top as well. But I did. It is what it is. If I don't like the layout, I'll change it. for the moment, I'm going to leave it there. Now, what we want to do, well, I'm not going to leave it there because I actually want to work. And put it there. What I want to do is to bring in a couple of cards and things that can tuck into this little pocket. And so this makes it a journey of discovery for whoever opens the journal. So you open the shutters, you pull this out, little mouse says hi. And I think it just makes it so much more interesting. I would kind of like something over there. Not sure what. Okay. This one didn't come with fussy cut bits, so I might have to go into another set and fussy cut some bees and things and just put it down there. Okay. While we're packing the window, let's look at this window. What are we going to put here? We want to maybe bring in, what about these? There's a whole bunch of these. How would they fit? Yes, they fit nicely. We'll tuck those in there. And again, maybe something at the top to just finish it. Okay, then we go back to this side. Now, I have made this one from off-cut pieces, but I'm thinking maybe there's a whole bunch of tags in this set. So those tags, these tags, some smaller ones, two of those and those. So there's a whole lot of tags in this printable set. Kind of like the idea of using tags. So how about, I'm just moving those out of the way. If I take these, they will tuck nicely, but so will these. They're actually better. Oh, that's a good fit. So maybe these. Oh, they've got such lovely writing space. Now, I should give them things like toppers and whatever. I should. I also made this one. So this is what it looked like on the printable, and I took one of those misprint bees on the sticker paper, stuck it to a clear packaging sheet, took one of my offcuts and just put the two together. I'm not thrilled about it, but it's an interesting element. So how about I just tuck those in there and yeah, maybe leave that be. Okay. On this side, we can maybe look at incorporating some of these. So these are envelopes. Aren't they gorgeous? Look how beautiful this back-to-back printing worked out. You know, you can't plan that. That just worked out fabulously. Well, one should put something in here. Here's another envelope. Gorgeous, isn't it? Even when you look inside, the envelope is beautiful now. And this one isn't an actual envelope, it's just like a fold over. How lovely is this though? And then I just cut slits in so that these could tuck in. But I think what we should do is to maybe fit just maybe fit some of these tags in here. Oh, that'll be too big. Oi. And in this one, I think these will be too big. Yes, they are. Like that? No. It won't open like that, so that's not going to work. I do like these cards. But that's too loose. The only ones I have left are these. And they're not going to fit either. So with that in mind, why don't I just stick with those? Put those in there. These are going to be left over. Back to this side of the page. Now, there are these fantastic elements. Yeah. That'll work nicely. And I'm going to be very symmetrical on this page layout. For no reason other than that, you know, from time to time, I like to be symmetrical. Most of the time I don't. I think it's boring. But from time to time, I will be symmetrical and work symmetrically and enjoy that as well. Okay. I'm just going to have to hold it there for a bit. Then I think this one can come in here. That'll probably be very nice. Okay. Not going to load the pocket just yet. We are going to come over to this side and do the same thing on the side. Glue sheet. Okay, hold it down for a bit. Now, if it seems as if I'm not finishing things, like the tag toppers that I was talking about, my thinking is the journal will only really happen once you start writing in it. And so those finishing touches can maybe rather happen when you start putting those finishing touches on things. I like this. I like this element. And I like the interactivity of these pages. Let's go to this side. And here, I think I should go with the same kind of height. But I'm going to just bind these together. Now, they don't have to be. I think this is way too long. If one were to, let me just rather chop it short if it's too long, because I might run into trouble. If one were to finally do the journal and then discover that you don't want the tags tied together like this, it's an easy enough thing to remove these slip knots and separate the tags. Actually, I'm not going to tie them like that. I'm going to do something else. I am going to tie them like this, and the reason for doing that is so that they are easy to page. Aren't they lovely when you page through them? Okay, well, we don't want that long. Yeah. Easily separated again, if that's what one wants to do. But in any case, nicely incorporated in the journal now. Now, there are so many interesting elements. But what I was thinking is that I want to maybe use this. That'd be interesting. Um, I went into my stash and just found all sorts of things that are rather interesting. Some of these are in Afrikaans, like this one. Avontuur is adventure. Broers are brothers. Imagine is English. Delight. Vrede is peace. Vreugde is joy. It's another adventure. Glimlach is smile. Vertrou is trust. And hoop is hope. There's a lot of Afrikaans here. I'm just trying to see if I can use these. And then I also found these little elements, and I'm really on two minds about these, but in any case, we'll see. Okay, so I'm not sure I like the bees. But I'm rather sure that I like these. I might use these. No. Other than those bees, I also have this one and these little bees. How curious are these? Yeah. How about if they come across as protesters? I kind of like that. But I don't think this is the place for it. Now I'm looking for something to finish these pages off. So let me switch off and get back to you, because I haven't quite found what I need to finish this off with. So I'll be back just now. Right, I think I know what I want to do. And so here's what I've done. I have just taken a big needle and some twine, and I have threaded that little banner that says Mickey. It's my pseudonym under which I write. And I kind of like this lace here. So I'm going to trim this to size. And let me start. Where do I want to start? Glue mat. Okay, I can cut this off. Put the needle away. And I lost the glue. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to glue this. The glue is picking up the strings. From the, now everything is glued. Oh, I cleaned that with my hands, and that was not a wise decision. Right. I don't want it to have no movement whatsoever. So a little bit of movement I think is a good idea. But controlled movement. Right, then this piece of lace I am going to glue I should have gone for the cloth glue. I didn't. No, you can only put glue where there's less of a chance of it being seen. There you go. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and I am going to use this little word here, but the movement on the page is, well, once all those smaller journals are in, smaller, they're not small in any means, by any means, but once the other journals are in, the pages will not have as much movement, or the pockets won't have as much movement as they have right now. But until such time, I do have to deal with the movement. So, if I don't want this to break into pieces because it's quite thin, I am going to have to glue it properly. And this is the one that says vreugde, joy. My glue is seeping out on this end. I need something a little solid. This little cutting board will do it. To just hold this down on. I like this page. I like how this worked out. And I especially like that we moved away from just paper. It was becoming a bit mundane for me. Okay, now on this side, let's start with that one. So I am going to, apologies. I'm going to bring that cutting board in. I'm going to glue. Where's the glue now? Oh my goodness. I keep losing my glue. And this is the one that says Vrede, peace. Now, why did I opt for these two? Well, not only do I like the two words, I mean, what's wrong with joy and peace? But I like the alliteration, the repeat of the f sound. Vreugde, vrede. So in Afrikaans, the V is pronounced a f sound. The W is actually pronounced the V sound. Go figure. I like that. These little flowers, I don't want these useless glue dots. So I'm just pulling those off. They don't even need pulling off, they just come off altogether. It's as if they don't want to be there. I do like these flowers. And I'm going to glue them on here. They add a bit of a playful element to the page. And I like that combination of serious and playful, a bit whimsical. Right. Now, how about this gap here then? What do we do with that? I thought I'd once again go in search of the stamps. And I think I need to go for the green. And just add, hey, stick down, a couple of, I don't think they should all be green. Yeah, just a couple of stamps there at the top. And then call it a day for this spread. Lots of stuff one can still do to finish some of these elements. But as I said, I think once one starts working in the actual journal, then that's the time to do so. Otherwise, all that's left to do is write, and there's no playing left. Now there's a little bit of playing left after doing the writing, and I like the idea of that. So that's it. I'm not sure this sticker is going to stay there. I'm going to have to maybe glue that one down. But that's the page spread. I'm going to go slow. Right in the middle of the album. And yeah, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.